Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing, testing. That's not clear enough. Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing, testing. Yeah, we've got a problem with our sound tonight. That's probably because the connection is not very good. My apologies, but I'll try the best I can with this connection I've had. My apologies. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports Live. These are my very quick thoughts on a number of issues within the world of boxing. First and foremost, I want to talk very quickly to you about Stiverne versus Wilder 2. I can absolutely guarantee you that Wilder versus Stiverne will happen. Stiverne is the mandatory, as I said before, and that fight will go ahead next. I can also assure you that the drug test was rubbish news. It wasn't real. WBC cleared it. There's no issues there whatsoever. Stiverne was supposedly not at the location when they went to do the drug test, and he wasn't there. They then located Stiverne. It was a mix-up by the people doing the drug testing. They have done the tests, and they're satisfied, and WBC is satisfied, so there are no problems with no drug testing. So for those of you who are expecting the Ortiz-Wilder fight, forget it, not happening. Stiverne versus Wilder is going to happen. You heard it first here. So there's no way around it. No Wilder versus Ortiz. It's Wilder versus Stiverne. So you heard it here. Okay, moving on very quickly. Mikey Garcia versus Adrien Broner. I wanted to do a very quick video on this. I know the fight's going to happen soon-ish. I haven't had time to get round because I've been so busy. But I'm going to give you my very quick thoughts on it. Adrien Broner, for me, is a guy that's wasted a lot of talent. I don't consider him a professional. A professional fighter, yes, only in the context that he is in professional sports. I don't think he's that much of a professional. Comes into fights overweight, comes into fights, and in terms of game plans and applications, at times has been found wanting. Starts slowing fights, and his best days, as far as I'm concerned, was when he was down at lightweight. You see, the Marcus Maidana fight pretty exposed Broner's limitations and showed he can be outworked. He just doesn't put the work in. Looks brilliant in training, but substance is another thing. And I just don't think, in my opinion, that you can just suddenly turn up and become professional. Just turn up and be disciplined. I just don't think so. And I just don't believe, in terms of with Broner, we're going to see that. Now, he's talented enough to beat Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia, heavy-handed fellow, unbeaten. But there are question marks for me about his ticker, the heart. What happens when he gets really tough and he starts getting hit back by a heavier guy, heavy-handed guy? We know that Broner has got the power to hurt Garcia based on the fact that he dropped Porter. Now, thinking about it, not even a big, solid welterweight like Kell Brook, who's campaigned years, could drop Porter. So that shows you that Broner can hurt Mikey Garcia, who's coming up in weight. The other thing about Mikey Garcia, I talk about being defensively responsible. Mikey Garcia is a guy that gets hit with right hands way too often for my liking. And if there's one punch that I think Mikey Garcia is going to be vulnerable to in this fight, is the right hand. I look at fights, I look at patterns, and I think that Broner starts slow, Garcia starts fast. The only thing is, will Garcia start fast at a higher weight division? If Garcia starts fast and he punches with the same sort of authority that he's had in the lower weight divisions, he could get Broner out of there. I think Garcia throws his punches more correctly than Marcos Maidana. Marcos Maidana is more of a Mornings type fighter. But I think Garcia is a far more polished fighter. I'm not sure about the heart of Garcia in a tough fight. Marcos Maidana will just eat up punches and come forward. We know that of him. And we've seen him in his fights with Mayweather as well. So I don't know, really. Yeah, that's another great point here by Copendo9. He says that even Keith Thurman couldn't drop Porter. So that shows you that Broner does have a bit of a dig. So I think if it's going to be a fight, if there's going to be a knockout early, I'm going to go Garcia only for the fact that Broner doesn't start fast. He kind of gets into fights second half of the fight. Will he even be around the second half of the fight against Mikey Garcia? If Mikey Garcia hits with the sort of power, he's been at low weights, I think Garcia can stop Broner inside the distance, inside those first 6. If I were Garcia, I would jump on Broner and look to not allow him any space and just hit him with everything. And look at the Marcos Maidana fight and say, you know what? There's the blueprints to beat Adrien Broner. Get out there and get on top of him. You see, Porter was just wild with his punches. Wild, wild, wild. Garcia's a little bit more controlled. Again, we don't know how Garcia does with this new weight division. But again, Broner's not, as I said, active enough. He's not got enough work rate. So for me, I'm going to go Garcia early and Broner late. That's how I look at it. And it'd be Broner very late. But I'm going Garcia early. KO. I just think Broner I think his best days are behind him, and I think he's trying to do something now that he should have done 4 or 5 years ago for me, which is be dedicated. So I don't think he can do it now for me. So I'm going with the guy who's always dedicated, always in shape, always ready, Mikey Garcia. Whether the weight will be a factor, of course, you keep moving up in weight. Will his punch power be the same? Will he be the same fighter? I don't know. But I'm going to go with Mikey Garcia because of his consistency. So those are my thoughts, people. I'll be back posting more boxing fights from Sheffield tonight on the Dennis Hobson Show. So I'll speak to you all later. Thanks for watching and enjoy the boxing tonight. Take care.